All right, Pete, let's start with you guys just got done mini camp. Now you get a nice little vacation. Let's just start with the doldrums of mini camp. I mean, I'm sure that's a hell of a great time. What are your goals when you guys are going through that type of camp?
Yeah, so this is year 2, second time going through first time going through a true off season. Didn't have anything like this last year with COVID, but I was just fortunate to kind of get a few plays in, be able to get these kinks out before I would have the chance in training camp, because I obviously didn't have this last year. But the whole mindset is kind of develop team chemistry and just get these reps. So we're hitting the ball running during training camp. So all the guys seem to have great attitudes. And when we go out there, we're having a good time, but develop that team chemistry and kind of go from there.
Going back to your rookie year, you show up and there's about 800 Ohio State Buckeyes on the Saints roster. You just picked up another one in this past draft. What kind of camaraderie do you guys have, and how helpful was that for you as a rookie to step into some relationships of guys that had a common bond with you?
Yeah, I don't know what they have with Ohio State, but it's got to be some crazy relationship, because I feel like we're getting one every year. But it doesn't hurt me. I love it. They obviously know what they're doing. Those guys have whatever they do to pick people. I couldn't do it, but as long as they keep getting these Ohio State guys in, it's cool. But going into an organization and having guys that I know is pretty cool. And if they keep doing that in the future, that'll be nice as well too.
Speaking of Ohio State, obviously you had a tremendous career there. I want to get into that career in just a bit. But first, what provided the greatest challenge for you making the jump from the Big Ten to the NFL?
Yeah, so I think when a lot of people think of the biggest challenge when coming from college to the NFL is, the speed of the game. It's going to be so much faster or whatever. That necessarily wasn't the same for me. It kind of slows down once you get the hang of the defense and you're out there and you kind of feel it around a little bit. But the quarterbacks are so smart, and if you are in a coverage and they figure out what you're doing, they're gonna throw the hardest possible route tree in the book for that certain coverage. So you got to do such a good job of disguising your looks. The knowledge of the game, I would say, is just ramped up 100%, and that's what makes it so hard. It's because these quarterbacks, they'll put you in very tough situations as a defense, because there's only so much you can do as a defense. So once they kind of get you figured out, the hardest part is trying to match what they have, what the offense is showing you, and playing from there. So it's a big IQ game, which I think is the hardest part.
Which guy's intellect most impressed you? Was there one or two quarterbacks that stood out that you faced as a rookie?
That I faced, I would say, obviously, you have to put Tom Brady in there. I'm hearing
that's a good one, Pete.
I'm hearing out different checks in the game. I don't know what's going on, but if he's making plus gains out of it, you know he's doing something right. But he was good. And then when we played Matt Ryan against Atlanta the first time we played him, he had a really good game. He was doing very well. So I would say that's another one.
Which individual player gave you your welcome to the NFL moment, whether it was a block or a play that a skill player made or a quarterback?
It's got to be Alvin. I mean, the linebackers are paired up with the running backs so often, and they run these little choice routes where he's kind of got a freeway go, and they got a big open field, and it's just me and him. And he's beat me a few times, and there's some situations where it's like, I mean, I don't even know what I could have done better here. Like, he's just kind of that athletic. So that was tough. That was kind of my welcome. Get beat on a few of these, and then let's see how good you actually are. So he's very good at that.
Is that an Indianapolis Motor Speedway logo over your left shoulder?
Yes, it is. I was there a few weeks ago for Memorial
I was
Weekend.
too, bro. That's cool. Who were you there as somebody's guest or
Loved
just
it.
as a fan?
So I've gone the past like 7 or 8 years. We have tickets right on the first turn.
Who's your guy?
So I like so Connor Daly. I'm a big fan of.
Oh Lord, what a lunatic that cat is! Holy crap!
So he's a good friend of mine. I like Ed Carpenter too, and Graham Rahal just through the Columbus connection. He was a good buddy too. Yeah, I worked out and trained in the off season with Connor and Ed. They were cool guys.
Pete, we've seen a lot of linebackers go from college ball, some of them from the NFL, to joining a pit crew. Do you feel like you have what it takes to jump into one of those for like a cameo, celebrity appearance, one race?
Absolutely not. No. If they told me, I wouldn't be opposed to it, but I don't know if I could do that. No.
Let's so I'm a humongous shoe head, big time sneaker guy, and I couldn't help but notice when I was stalking your Instagram that you have a hell of a J's collection. I saw like recovery J's, I saw golf J's, I saw hanging out J's. How many pairs you got, and which one's your go-to?
Those are just those are a lot of what I have. I don't want to get you fooled with, oh, he's got these, he's got the golf J's, he must have a lot. No, there's not a big selection. You won't be impressed. So I got those. I got maybe a few others, but I'm not a big sneakerhead. I like some of the cool shoes I have. I like, but I couldn't tell you the names of them. I just thought they looked cool online. So I don't know like the Air Jordan Retro. What I don't know any of the names for that. I just thought they looked cool online, so I got them.
Well, you did a good job. Your Instagram belies your lack of appreciation for the various names that they've given the shoes.
Which part of your NFL career, your football skill set, translates the best to the golf course?
I would say you got to throw that versatility piece in there. Just being able to translate it is how it goes. I mean, you think of Taysom; he's the best guy on our team, and he's probably the most versatile guy in all of NFL. So I think that's definitely a big piece. And I grew up on a course. I'm still playing at the same course I did when I was in 5th grade. So just kind of, I would say, just growing up, being there early is nice. I see some of the guys swing the club on the team nowadays, and it's just, where were you the past 20 years or so? What is going on? So that's kind of funny.
Define your golf addiction.
I would say the tough thing about golf, here's what happens. My definition is bogey every single hole, get a par on the 18th. That motivates me to go and want to play again.
You can shoot 200, man, but if that last swing is pure, you're coming back.
Yeah, there's just something about it that just makes me wants to go and come back. I could play terribly, but just being out there, it's kind of isolated. That's kind of the way I like to do it.
Pete, they just unleashed these new Saints helmets on us, and we're big uniform guys around here. We talk about it often. And, I went to Georgia. We don't really mess with tradition too much. I feel like the Saints are a very traditional NFL team, very traditional NFL uniform. I know you're biased because you play for them, you're going to wear them, but what did you think when you saw those things?
Yeah, I was shocked because I heard, I think it was maybe back in the 90s, 80s, they tried to do this, and they tried to do it, and it got torn down completely. So I'm shocked that the organization went through with it. I thought it was going to get turned down, but the fact that it's up now is pretty cool. I like the design. Mark Ingram had a funny video about the details of the helmet. It was pretty cool. So we can have all this swag all we want, but at the end of the day, we're just wearing a uniform. We got to tackle the dude that's not in ours. So.
What was it like playing high school football in Indiana? I mean, I feel like there are a lot of states that get a lot of the attention, Georgia, Texas, Florida, but Indiana put some guys out there too. What was your experience like? What's it like to play ball where you did growing up and make it to the Big Ten?
Yeah, it was nice. Coming from Indiana, all you think is all we got is Larry Bird and a bunch of basketball dudes that can shoot threes. Which people still look at me now. They look at me as a basketball player that just can shoot threes, sit in the corner, which obviously is not the case. But Indiana is ramping up. They're getting a little bit better, more popular in high school football. So it was an honor kind of coming out there and being one of those guys out of the state to play at Ohio State at one of the most prestigious colleges and play in the NFL. So that was pretty cool. And then now being in the NFL, that doesn't really happen out of Indiana, so it just kind of aids on to what's in the younger guys' heads, saying they can make it. So it helps kind of what we have going now.
Am I wrong, Pete? You were at Ohio State during the Urban Meyer to Ryan Day transition, right?
Yes, okay. I was. I was 2 years with Urban, 2 years with Ryan.
So what? I know that you're a defensive guy, so they're not in your position room or anything like that. But from a culture or day-to-day operational perspective, what was the biggest difference between the Urban Meyer Ohio State Buckeyes and the Ryan Day version?
Yeah, so both great coaches. Don't have anything against them. I respect both of them. They helped me both tremendously in my career, but for different reasons. But very, very good coaches for what they did. Urban Meyer was, and obviously from the outside perspective, you can get this as well, but very intense, more of a special teams guy, great leader, motivator type of coach. And he would get on you. He would get in your face. He would really teach you how to play hard. And I credit him for when I first got to Ohio State to kind of developing and instilling that toughness piece in my mind and getting that mental toughness ready and early. Because then Ryan Day comes along and he's more of the player's coach, very, very smart IQ. And not saying Urban didn't, obviously, but was an offensive side of the guy. He was side of the ball. He was calling a lot of the plays. Everything was in his favor, but everybody knew him. You could talk to him. You could sit down with lunch to him. He's a great guy, just more of a player's coach and just a different style, which I think college football is starting to see a little bit rather than the kind of the old school look. So both great techniques, great styles. I learned and gained from both of their different styles, so I was thankful to have both of them.
Pete, what's the the moment from Ohio State that you have framed on your wall? Just the game you'll never forget, that the quintessential experience you had as a Buckeye.
Playing Clemson 2 times in a row. If I would have lost to them in New Orleans, I would have been extremely pissed off. But the fact that we beat them was the second time was amazing here in New Orleans, and even pretty cool now that I live 3 blocks from the stadium now, so I get to see that and know that my first time playing in the Superdome was against Clemson. So that was kind of my staple as a Buckeye, was when we beat them. Second to last game my senior year was pretty cool.
All right, brother, we'll get you out of here on this. First of all, thank you so much for all the time. I'm really intrigued by Jameis. Have been for a long time. I covered him all the way back when he was at FSU, and was a Heisman Trophy winner. He's such an interesting cat. What did you see from him Well, yeah, I love the. Okay, go to define that laugh that you just belly laughed.
Oh my gosh! So all of my friends, like buddies, like all of the players are like, "Hey man, what's Jameis like? Is he just like crazy? Like how is he playing for you?" I'm like, whatever you think of Jameis, it's the exact opposite. This dude is locked in all the time. Great player, great practice player, great teammate, but he's just got kind of this thing about him where he operates that kind of just makes a little bit like some people laugh.
Yeah.
It's just funny, but he is dead serious all the time, just extremely intense. But nobody would have any idea. They see these funny interviews online. They're like, "What is it? What is going on with Jameis?"
I mean, he ate a W out of his hand, Pete. That's pretty damn funny.
And he is serious. He is serious. It's hard to explain, but I mean, he's just he's a great guy. You love to have him as a quarterback because I mean he's really good. He's a great team player as well. But the way he operates is it's kind of funny the way he moves on. But I love it.
It's hysterical. So expound upon that for me real quick. Why can the New Orleans Saints win with him behind center?
He's very talented. He's always trying to learn, and when you get a guy that's got a work ethic like him, he's always in the building first, always the last one to leave, just trying to learn constantly. And I think he got that from Drew when Drew was here his last year. Kind of what I'm hearing, and he wants to take that next big step. He knows he has potential, so he's got some threats this year. So I think he's pretty excited about that. Give him a little more targets to throw to, but very talented. His arm strength is crazy. So I think as long as he's in the right position and he's working as hard as he is, I think he's the guy that can make leaps that people don't necessarily think he can do.
I love it. Well, I can tell you this, man, talking about some of those internet videos, when I see him going back and forth, through those dummies and that guy's trying to knock the ball out of his hands, I can't help but laugh my ass off. It's hilarious.
He's holding a sponge connected to like a bungee cord, and he's got an eye patch on. There's just all kinds of things in the Jameis workout routine.
Hey, but he's serious about it.
You're a gem, brother. We appreciate you so much. Have an awesome day and have a phenomenal summer and a great season coming up, man. Appreciate you.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it.